What's up, everyone? It's Sunday night, it's the late night agenda. Mo Salah has his scoring boots on for Egypt. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and all is good with my life. I hope everything is good with you guys. There's a few bits and pieces for us to get through tonight. I actually thought it was going to be fairly quiet, but as always, the rumour mongers are out there. The bullshit news stories are there aplenty. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I hope your families are all well. I hope life is treating you well. Let's get stuck into it, ladies and gents. Let's see how everybody's feeling. Let me get into your comments. Boy is in. Boy, how are you, sir? Anything big on the Leicester front? For me, guys, for our content tonight, we've got a little bit of stuff around Marco Asensio, some stuff around Sadio Mane, a little bit of Felipe Coutinho talk, Crystal Palace and Kleiny, and a few other bits and pieces. Right, what have we got? Coutinho. There we go. Lots of people on Coutinho already. Do you know what? We'll start with Felipe Coutinho then. It's the first comment I've seen, so why not? So apparently this article that I seen in Le D Sport, or at least I seen it in the Echo and it originates in Le D Sport, that we spoke about these before actually, a French outfit. They claim that Liverpool are open to offering Felipe Coutinho an escape route from Barcelona. The report claims the Reds were impressed by his public denouncing of his Manchester United links, and with Barca willing to sell, Liverpool could prepare a move. Now, this is greatly at odds with what I've seen. I'm sure you guys as well had seen that it looks like Coutinho may be used in a make-way for the Neymar deal. Neymar looks like he's likely to go from Paris Saint-Germain to Barcelona this summer in what looks like a ridiculous fee. I think €240 million in total is the package to take Neymar back to Barcelona. And Felipe Coutinho could well be included in that. We'd also seen links that maybe Ousmane Dembele will be included in that. I don't know as usual what to believe and what not to believe. But I'd be very, very suspicious of links linking Coutinho back to Liverpool. I've not seen much of this Le D Sport crowd. I don't know how big they are, how small they are. They could be a national broadcaster for all I know in France. But the rumours that I've seen from there, they don't seem to ever hold much weight, to be fair. What do you guys think of Felipe Coutinho? I know you're probably sick to death talking about him. I'm the same. But, you know, when these things are mentioned, it's kind of what the show is. We just discuss stuff, don't we? And I'll leave it with you guys to see if you believe it's true or false. Ella, how are you? Said, hi Craig, thanks for the kind words on Twitter. Mate, I meant every single word of it. I'd seen so many people go up and say they had a great time at the Pride Festival in Dublin. I'm sure you did as well, as you so proudly said on Twitter. And as I said, I'm proud of you, mate. And it's been a pleasure getting to know you over the last few months on here. And someday our paths will cross in Dublin Airport as well. And you can give me some free tastes of gin or something like that. How about that as a deal? I don't drink, but I will break that for you, Ella, because it would be nice to tip a little glass. Even though you'd be in work, I won't, so nah. Anyway, mate, look, I hope you had a lovely time. Let's talk about six. Set off a G. Always prepared to talk about six, buddy, you know that. I'm very good tonight, thank you, Jimmy W. Coutinho back, another Brazilian, bring him home, said Carl Richards. We're the champions of Europe, said Paul Dunning. Yes, we are, pal. Yes, we motherfucking are. Not just once, not twice. Hell, it's not even 3 times like Manchester United. 4 times you hear you ask. No. It must be 5 then. Well, it was 5, ladies and gentlemen. But now, it's this many. And this many is 6. 6 motherfucking European Cups for the mighty Reds. It just doesn't get old, does it? While we're talking about European Cups and while I was talking about Mo Salah, I just want to take a second. I bought a few prints today from a very talented artist, Mark Jenkins. Any of you guys who are on social media probably know Mark Jenkins. He does some excellent Liverpool portraits. Stevie G, I think Jordan Henderson, the managers, Mohamed Salah. I bought a set of 4 prints off him today. 2 Mohamed Salah with the European Cup and 2 Mohamed Salah with the Golden Boots. I just want to take a second to give a shout out to him, to Sean Leonard, who does great artwork on there as well, to Ross Baines, another very talented artist who, you know, sells his stuff via Twitter as well. Check these guys out. They make really good stuff. And I'm not, this isn't a sponsored post. I'm not on here because we got anything for free or I'm trying to sell anything. Genuinely, I'm a fan. And I bought the prints for my own personal use and for Connor, because we might give some away, but don't say anything about that yet. Because just a fan. I just really, really like the stuff that these guys make. We've got a lot of great content providers out there, and that doesn't just include podcasts or YouTube channels or articles. There's some great artists out there as well. So as I said, please do check out Sean Leonard, Ross Baines and Mark Jenkins. 3 really, really good guys. Did you see Salah's goal? I did. It was a nice free kick, wasn't it, mate? It really was. And then the second goal from is El Mohammadi. Was that who scored the second one? It took a bit of deflection, but I did see it. If you guys can do me a favour as well, maybe keep me up to date with what's going on with the under-21 final, because Spain were winning 1-0 before I came up. Any news on Harry Wilson or any news on Ben Woodburn, asks Nageb. No, is the honest answer. Actually, on Ben Woodburn, mate, I have seen nothing in quite a while. We spoke about Wilson a little bit last night. Looks like if an offer of 20 to 25 million comes in, it will be considered. Might come down to the player. Jurgen Klopp is happy to have a look at Harry Wilson pre-season by everything that I'm reading as well. It's I think we could nearly mark the Harry Wilson thing as a win-win situation, because as fans, we either move on a player who, if he is moved on, kind of lets you know the manager doesn't think he's ready just yet, or we get to see Harry Wilson get a pre-season under his belt, maybe get a chance this season with Liverpool. So as fans, it's a win-win. How's your day been? It's been really good, thank you, my friend. I hope yours is good as well. Who was that? LFC J06. It's been good, thank you, mate. We need one small signing, one big signing, said Seski. Can we talk about 13? Don't be greedy now, Alan Madrid. Yeah, look, that is 13 Champions Leagues or 13 European Cups for Madrid is an amazing amount. We could talk about how the first 4 or 5 were got, mate, but doesn't matter. It's still a fantastic achievement. 3 in a row as well. Personally, I'm not a fan of Real Madrid, mate, at all. I've made it known that I'm more of a Barcelona fan, but 13 Champions Leagues is or 13 European Cups is 13 European Cups. What else we got? Think Coutinho be perfect. Keep Origi, get backup left back. Unleash Brewster. I like that, mate. Unleash him. He's going to be great this season, Ryan Brewster. Really looking forward to seeing how this kid gets on. Let me just get to the main story of the day, ladies and gents, or the one that I at least believe is the main story of the day. Reports today, I can't believe I'm even reading this out, but bear with me, there's a reason for it. Reports today claim that Real Madrid want Sadio Mane and are willing to offer Marco Asensio, who they value at around the £85 million mark, as part of any potential deal. Asensio is certainly a good young player who's been linked with us for a few months now, maybe even a couple of windows. But that being said, Real Madrid can forget about getting Sadio Mane, because that's just not happening. We're not going to sell Mane, we're not going to sell Firmino, we're not going to sell Salah. At least not this season anyway. Whatever happens in the future, we'll never know. But as things stand, the club have no intent of selling any of the front three. But the Asensio stuff, that doesn't go away. That's been here, as I said, for a few windows now. £85 million, I don't know. Is he worth £85 million? Probably not. But, you know, they're in a position where they need to move players on as well, because they've been buying players left, right and centre, and they need to free up cash. Bale needs to go. They're looking at Asensio. Isco, we know, is probably available. And there's probably a few more as well. But for you guys who are fans of Marco Asensio, let me know your thoughts on this one. The Mane stuff, look, we can just forget about that. Real Madrid can want all they want, but it ain't fucking happening. They're not getting Sadio Mane. Is it possible to make a player sign a 10-year contract? I don't know. I don't know if it's ever been done, mate. I've seen 6-year contracts, maybe 7 once, I think. But anything is possible. But from a club's perspective, that is a very risky piece of business, isn't it? Because player picks up an injury 3 years into a 10-year contract. You've 7 years left to play him if his career is finished, perhaps. Maybe we could do Mignolet, Klein, and 10 million for Zaha. Mignolet, I think they probably want more than that, to be fair, Mossy. So what do we value a Mignolet at there? Say 15, Klein 15. That's 30. They probably want another 30, 35 on top of that. Actually, if reports are to be believed, they wanted 100 million for Zaha, according to one report, which is just ridiculous. What's your top 4 prediction, asks Martin Young. As it stands, Martin, obviously Liverpool, Manchester City and Spurs I think are almost nailed on. And then it comes down to who does the best business between United, I was going to say Chelsea, but they can't really do much, and Arsenal. Gun to my head as things stand, probably just edge United there. But I wouldn't say that with any confidence whatsoever. I think it's open, that 4th spot. It's like a Ferrari giving back a Ford Focus. It's like getting a Ferrari or taking a Ferrari and giving back a Ford Focus, said Peter van der Schaans. Liverpool, not so dumb to do this deal, said Alan Madrid. No, of course not, mate. It is a silly deal. It's a silly article. It's a silly story. It's one of many silly stories that you're going to get around transfer season. Cape Town Muslims say, Craig, the front three, or will the front three be rested for the start of the season due to overplaying? And how many games do you think they're going to be knackered? Funny you mention that, mate. I'm recording a podcast tomorrow with Brian Morrissey and Dave Henry, and that is one of the subjects that we're going to talk about on the podcast. So I don't want to say too much, but yes, I think we will miss them for the start of the season. If one of the three was to play, I'd probably say it'd be Bobby Firmino, because he probably is the most natural fitness. Other than that, I think we're just going to have to wait and see how Klopp feels when he gets them back and sees how they are and their fitness is monitored. And look, all professional athletes these days, they look after themselves. They're going to be, even on the holidays, they'll take care of themselves. And Mo did get a little break before the African Cup of Nations, which was good to see. So I don't know quite how long he'll need after that before he comes back to Liverpool. I actually don't know off the top of my head if any of them are joining up for the pre-season tour of America or not. But yeah, it's an interesting one, and one that I said we will be discussing more in tomorrow night's pod. Is it Mane valued at 150 million or something? Minimum, I'd say, mate, yes. Sorry, I can't pronounce that name, mate. There's just too many letters in it. We'll call you Mr. BS, because that's what it says at the end of it. Around that, yeah, I would say Sadio Mane's value probably is roughly what you're saying. Craig, if we reach the Champions League final next year, are you going to twat your head on the cabinet again for good luck? Well, I did that after the Champions League final, to be fair, Craig, but it hurt. I'm not going to lie, mate. You put on the big boy face, but inside you're going, it did hurt a little bit, to be fair. Thought I might need a couple of stitches, but too lazy to go and get them, so it looks like it's sticking itself back together alright. I missed the days when Man United won 3 Premier League and we still took Cristiano Ronaldo from them, said Alan Madrid. Well, I don't miss the days that Manchester United won any Champions Leagues or European Cups or Premier Leagues or anything like that, mate. The longer that they're shithouses and the longer that they're in the Europa League, that suits me absolutely sound. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Liz, for removing that. That was spamming. I would say that's fair. LFCJ06. Yes, thank you for removing that. I'm going to just hide him because that is spamming and we don't like spamming on the channel. Has De Ligt joined the club? Not technically yet, Zesky, no, but it looks like if they can hammer out a deal with regards to a fee between Juventus and Ajax, he's going to be going to Juventus. I think the deal's agreed with the player. It's just the two clubs are sorting out the finer details, I suppose. It looks like Adrian Rabiot is about to sign as well with Juventus. He's arrived in Turin to sign that contract. Any news on Fekir? No, unfortunately, Nigab, nothing at all on Nabil Fekir. Any news on Kleiny leaving us? Not really news as such, more reports again that suggest that Crystal Palace are linked with a move for Nathaniel Klein. He's 28 years of age, Kleiny, so he still has 3, 4, maybe even 5 years left in him at the top level. With Palace selling Wan-Bissaka to United, it does mean they need a right back. It's not a huge leap to think of him going back to Palace, so could be something in this one. With regards to a transfer fee, I'd imagine the club will ask for something around 15 million maybe. I don't know, but yeah, let's wait and see what happens. The whole Kleiny thing, I've said this for months now, it baffles me. It really baffles me because we're talking about needing a utility fullback to come in and do a job. Why can't Klein be that fullback? Why couldn't he be that fullback? When he played last season against United, before he went out on loan to Bournemouth, I thought he did really well. I thought to myself, oh, Kleiny's back. We can see what he's doing. And then here he went. Straight away went out on loan. I don't know if something went on behind the scenes. I don't know if he fell out with Klopp. I've no idea. I'd be just guessing. But it is odd when we need somebody at this moment in time, but yet we have a player contracted to the club that could fill in at left and right back if need be. I know he's naturally a right back, but you can switch across if needs be. He's done it before. Yeah, what do you guys think on the Kleiny thing? For me, even if he's 1 year left and we to let him go on a free the following year, it would allow Adam Lewis another year to develop. It's a real noodle scratcher for me. I can't figure it out because I like Kleiny as a footballer. I think Nathaniel Kleiny's a good, solid professional, can do a job. Not as good going forward as Trent Alexander-Arnold is, but then again, there are not many fullbacks in the world that are as good going forward. There's a fella on the other side called Andy Robertson who's quite good going forward. But apart from those two, it is difficult. And we're talking about somebody to come in here maybe for FA Cup games, League Cup games, maybe a couple of handy home games in the Premier League, if there is such a thing. So yeah, I want to get your thoughts on Kleiny, please, ladies and gents, if you have a couple of moments. Klein would start at Palace, said Liz Golden. Claire Dean said it's Kleiny's choice, he wants more game time. I believe that is what Jurgen said when he went out on loan, yeah. But then again, Mignolet wants to go and get more game time, and he was kept, wasn't he, for this season when Karius was moved on. Any truth to Coutinho coming back? I can't say if there's truth to it, John, but I can say it has been reported, mate. But whether there's truth to it or not, look, who knows? I'd be just telling lies if I came on here and said that there's truth to it or there isn't. I just don't know. Coutinho or Fekir? Oh, Coutinho or Fekir? Coutinho or Fekir? You know what? Oh, I can't believe I'm about to say. I'd probably say Coutinho, mate. I'd have to wipe aside the fees because, as a fan, I generally don't give a fuck what the transfer fee is as long as I know the club can afford it. If it was a straight shootout between Coutinho and Fekir, and I do love Fekir, I just think less injury worries with Coutinho, unless of course he has a bit of an iffy back, which he's been known to have from time to time. Yeah, I'd probably just nudge him. Oh, I can't even believe I'm saying that. You know that I can't believe I'm actually saying that because I really want Fekir, but I just think with those Brazilian links as well, with him on the wavelength he seems to be with Firmino as well for the international team, with Fabinho in behind, I just think there could be some sense to that. But it doesn't fill me with joy to say it, mate. I'm not gonna lie. Klein would start at Spurs, said Liverpool Legends. I thought Klein was good. He is. That's the thing, David, mate. I think he is good. Nathaniel Klein. I don't know what the hell went on there. Do you remember he was out with a back injury for a very, very, very long time, and we were getting very little, if any, updates on the situation. Paul Ward said never seen Asensio, but Coutinho will be brilliant. I appreciate your honesty, Paul. I really do, because I'm similar. If I haven't seen much of a player, I'd try to come out and say exactly that. I know sometimes people might come on and think that you believe you know everything. And when I say you, I mean me or whoever's talking believes they know everything about players, but I've never been that way. If I don't know something about somebody, I'm not going to bullshit. I'm just going to come out and say I haven't got a fucking clue. Brian Morrissey says Klein is too fond of a night out. It's well known in Liverpool, allegedly. You have to stick the word in at the end, mate, don't you? You just have to. Farwell said, does anybody think the delay in concrete news and signings is due to possible targets being at the Afcon / Copa America / Gold Cup? Maybe even add another slash onto the end of that, Dave, and say under 21 European Championships as well. Perhaps. Danny Ceballos, who I think is on his way to... where was Danny Ceballos on his way to? It's AC Milan. Am I right in that one? Has anybody else seen that link? I thought there was a £30-something million deal on the table for Danny Ceballos to AC Milan, I think. Although I don't know where the fuck they're getting the money from. Especially if they're going after Fekir as well. But he's looked quite good for Spain in the under 21 Euros. And I did see somebody earlier on say Spain won 2-1, so thank you for letting me know on that one. I didn't get to catch who it was, but I do appreciate you letting me know. Right, what else we got? I don't think Coutinho will come back to Liverpool for fear of the torment from fans, said Zeski. I don't think that would stop him, because I generally don't think there'd be much torment. Football, look, I don't mean this to be an attack on anybody, because I absolutely include myself in what I'm about to say. Football fans are hypocrites. I'll give you an example. If there's a handball for your team, you're screaming for it. If it's a bit 50-50, if it's against you, you're saying there's no way it should be given. I would say the same about Coutinho. If Coutinho came back to Liverpool, there would be people who weren't happy about it. There would be people who wouldn't have wanted it to happen. But then again, if you start sticking them in top corner and he starts putting him onto the match performances, we'd probably quickly get past those feelings of anger and start to let him settle in. And it would be counterproductive if he came back for fans to get on his back. I mean, that's not our way as fans for a start, but yeah, you wouldn't if you're after spending as much money on a player like that, you wouldn't want to start giving him abuse, would you? It's just not really the Liverpool way. Coutinho's great, but I feel Fekir would thrive in our system, said Jamie Mack 1888. Mate, I love Fekir, and if Fekir came in, I'd be very, very happy about it. Like yourself, I think he would thrive in our system, and obviously he's a player that Jurgen Klopp wanted, or Klopp wouldn't have put the bids in for him last summer, so Klopp obviously looked at a bit of Fekir and thought that he could do a job. Alan Madrid said, Salah or John Barnes? You know, that's a very difficult question to ask. Two different generations of footballers, but two absolutely outstanding. Like, two of my favourites that have played for Liverpool. Robbie Fowler, my favourite all-time player. I don't know. I can't answer that. Ala Madrid is too tough of a question. Two really good players there between Digger and Mo. I mean, yeah, two great players. Sean Pill said, we're getting Pepe. Don't believe Melissa Reddy. She got told to say that. Keep the transfers on the low. The only thing that gets me about that whole situation, Sean, is, right, it's one thing a journalist, and we'll use Melissa as an example here because you've mentioned her. It's one thing a journalist coming out and saying that the club have no interest in a player. It's taken it to another level, though, when you say that a senior source at the club rang Lille to just deny our interest in a player. There's no need to put that out there. If you want to just deny a story, just deny a story. For it to go that far, I don't know. I know Melissa and other journalists have gotten things wrong, but I always try and take these people at face value because Melissa's an excellent journalist. So I guess time will tell what happens in this situation, but I'm not going to come on and start slating people because stuff happens and football moves quickly and opportunities present themselves. So I genuinely, again, I don't know. If we got Coutinho for significantly less than we sold him, I'd take him, said Tommy Vertanen, I think it is, Tommy. AC Milan have FFP problems. They can only fund incomings with outgoings, said Happily Eggs. And that's why when I seen the links for Nabil Fekir to AC Milan, you seen Sousa going the other way, you thought, okay, maybe that makes some sense. There's no way that Dani Ceballos is going to go to AC Milan and that Sousa's going to Real Madrid. That just wouldn't happen. So, yeah, I'm with you. I don't understand where those links had come from. Josh is a huckster. Said Klein got unlucky with an injury and then Trent Alexander-Arnold capitalised on his chance and has become world class. Can't disagree with you, Josh. Yeah, I think you're right, mate. Do you remember the conversation, not the season just gone, the end of the season before that? I must have spent a good percentage of that summer either be on podcasts or just chatting to people on Twitter talking about who's going to be our starting right back the following year, and it's probably 50-50. Everybody knew what Trent was capable of and everybody knew that Trent was going to keep progressing, but there were still some small holes in Trent's game at that time. But as you said, the next season, mate, you just took it to a new level. Dave said, I watched the Liverpool European Royalty documentary on LFC TV today. Highly recommend it. It's brilliant, Dave. Yeah, it's really, really good, mate. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it as well, and like you, I'd recommend it to anybody. Zeski said, saw an article saying that we'll spend no more than 20 million. Yeah, there's been a few of those out there. I can't remember where it started with. I think, was it David Maddock that said expect no 60-70 million pound signings, maybe a wide forward, an attacker for something around 20 million. I know I'm paraphrasing there, but I think it might have been David Maddock that said something similar. Craig, what's your Community Shield, Norwich and UEFA Super Cup? What's my Community Shield, Norwich and UEFA Super Cup? Do you mean team, Christine, or... I don't know, you just said, what's my Community Shield? Norwich and UEFA Super Cup. I don't understand the question, mate. Sorry. I want to answer. I genuinely don't know what you mean, though. Bring back the child who lives in a bin. Yeah, where did he go? It's been a while since we've seen our friend from Wales in. Again, you asked me the same question, Christine. I don't know again what the question is. I remember seeing John Barnes play in 93, my first game, said Jason, what a player. He's class, John Barnes. I mean, did you ever see the images of John Barnes with the old shorts, you know, the really short shorts? And it looked like his leg muscles were about to go full on Incredible Hulk and just break through those shorts. Like, he was a unit, was John Barnes, when he played. Melissa lied about Fabinho. Throwing the word lied about is very... Maybe she got it wrong, or maybe she was misinformed. I mean, I have no vested interest in defending Melissa Reddy. I don't know Melissa Reddy. But what I do know of Melissa Reddy is that I believe she's an excellent journalist that writes some really good pieces that I've enjoyed following her career. And maybe she was briefed wrongly. I don't know. I wouldn't use the word lied, though. I think that's a bit harsh. But she was wrong. A lot of people were wrong. What What else we got? The Echo said we weren't interested in Alisson Becker time and time again. Yeah, look, that happens. Yeah. I mean, it does happen, and the Echo weren't the only ones who said we weren't interested in Alisson Becker or in a few other players as well. Ben Washbrook said Coutinho stayed at Liverpool when he could have moved the season before, but stayed, and that is true. Well, to an extent. I mean, the Barcelona thing, yeah, he was wanted that summer by Barcelona. But then he left in January, so it was kind of a piss take anyway. He disrupted our entire season. If he was going to stay, he should have stayed for the season. He was wanted by Paris Saint-Germain a couple of times. I remember reading a few articles that suggested they wanted to buy him. I don't know why the fuck they want to buy him. And he turned them down, and he said that the only club he would have left for was Barcelona, and I suppose to that extent he was true to his word. Lee Newman, how are you, pal? Must be over the moon with the signing of Wan-Bissaka and interest in Ben Yedder as well, I think. Is that right, Lee, for United? Prediction for the USA versus England women's match. It's going to be a good game, Liz. It really is. I think the winner comes from that side of the draw, so whoever wins that game, you'd have to make favourites for me. I know the other semi-final between the Netherlands and... Who's in the other semi-final again? The Netherlands and... Oh, excuse me for being so dumb. I should know this. Yeah, sorry, it's absolutely gone. I can't remember who the other women's semi-final is. Apologies, but the winner would come from probably the USA England side. It was a great tournament so far, though. I really enjoyed it. Italy, thank you, mate. Sorry, my mind just went. I don't know who's going to win, to be fair. You probably make America slight favourites, them being defending champions and that, but England have come on a lot. Both sides have some really good players, and I think it's going to be an enjoyable game of football. Hey Craig, hope you're well. This is a great live show. I look forward to it. Thank you, and be lucky. Boom. I like that, Mark. Thank you, Mark 10. Really appreciate that, buddy. I'm still baffled as to why anybody watches the show, mate. Honestly, I'm grateful, but we could be at 100,000 subscribers, and I'll still be sitting here scratching my bald ass head, going, I don't know. People often say, any tips? Start a YouTube channel? I haven't got a clue. We just got very lucky. We just stumbled upon a group of really nice people that stuck with us. Roberto said Rabiot confirmed. Yep, touched on that a few minutes ago, mate. Roberto is a Juventus fan. Good piece of business there, Roberto, for you. Obviously, you've got Ramsey as well on a free. Emre Can on a free. So Juventus doing quite well on the free transfers. What else we got? Sometimes clubs make instinctive decisions. Sometimes they reverse. Fekir said Tonic. I love it, mate. I fucking love it. I really would love Fekir to come in. Good night, boy. I'll talk to you really soon, mate. Sorry if I missed some of your comments tonight, Anthony. It's just been busy in the stream. Ladies and gents, we have 502 people watching, which is absolutely magnificent. Thank you so much, especially for a Sunday night with the football on. So if you're enjoying the stream, ladies and gents, we're 28 subscribers away from their next 100 subscribers. So if you are enjoying it, please do hit that button. And sub to Boya as well, as Boy Morrissey said, please do. Leicester City FC or LCFC Boya. I don't know why I find it so hard to say LCFC. I keep going to say LFC Boya. Maybe we can convert you. Nah, of course we can't, mate. I'm only joking. But look, do sub to Anthony's account. Really good channel. It's Sweden. Sorry, there you go. Italy are out with Sweden. Thank you to everyone that corrected me. And do you know what? I actually watched that game, so we should know that. Yeah, I just went completely blank there for a second. Sorry, I did watch that game as well. The Netherlands game. It's been a very good tournament, I have to say. Good support. The officiating's actually been very good as well. What I've noticed from watching the Women's World Cup so far is female referees are being a bit more lenient than male referees, and I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong, I think it's great. They seem to be more willing, and this is my observation. So we've got a good mix of male and female in the chat, so maybe you can give me feedback on this. My thoughts when I was watching the officiating between the difference between the male and the females are female referees seem to be more willing to talk to a player and explain what was going on. So say like, I'm pulling you up on this, or stop, you're wrong, blah blah, whatever it is. I think with male referees, and this is my opinion, sometimes their ego makes them get the cards out. So sometimes I think a male referee feels like he's been challenged by a player or something, and that male ego makes him get the card out. Now, that's just what I'm seeing. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I think there's been some really good officiating in the Women's World Cup. And then you take that with the African Cup of Nations as an example, and some of the officiating over there has been pretty shocking, to be fair. I haven't seen so much of the Copa America, so I can't really comment on that too much. The under-21's been quite good as well. Officiating's been decent. Stuart Wallace said, I've been watching your chat replays the last few weeks. First time live. Great work. Really enjoying your shows. Thank you so much, Stuart. I'm glad you managed to get on a live stream, mate. It's always nice to interact and chat with people in real time. But even if you are watching the streams back, I really appreciate it, mate. What do you make of us apparently not doing any major business this season? I personally think it's a huge mistake, said Copman. I don't know what to believe, Copman. I don't know. See, what constitutes major business is the real question. Do we base it purely on how much we spend? Because we wouldn't have classed Andy Robertson as major business. We wouldn't have classed Shaqiri as major business. So if we went out and signed Fekir or Ziyech for, let's say, something between 20 and 30 million, would that be major business? I would consider it major business because it would strengthen an area I want us to strengthen with a decent calibre of player. But it's not quite the 65 or 70 million that maybe a Nicolas Pepe or the 80 million for an Asensio or whoever it might be. I guess it's subjective. I fully believe we're going to go out and sign an attacking player this window. I've no idea who, I've no idea how much, and I've no idea when. I just refuse to believe that we won't, because we need one. I really think we need one. As much as it looks like Divock's about to agree a new 5-year deal, and that's great. He deserves it, he's earned it, and I'm glad the club are offering it to him. I'm sure you guys have seen the pictures as well with Gini Wijnaldum meeting up. I think it was in Miami with Divock. So that was nice as well to see the two lads out there. If Egypt get to the Afcon final, he's going to miss up to 4 games, said Gonads. And it's in Egypt, isn't it? The African Cup of Nations this summer. So, yeah. I want Mo to do well. Of course I do. I know he's got tremendous national pride, and I want him to do as well as he can. Same with Sadio Mane. I think are Guinea out? Guinea are out, aren't they? I know Madagascar won earlier on, which I think all but put Guinea out when they beat Nigeria. Craig, do you think Fernandes will come? No. Honestly believe he's going to United. Hand on heart, mate. I believe he's going to United. Mbappe coming, said don't ask. We talked last night, hashtag Mbappe 2020. I don't want to keep going over this on every show, but part of me, a small part of me, can make an argument as to why Kylian Mbappe could be possible. I absolutely agree it's highly unlikely. I'm not naive enough to think, yeah, we're getting Mbappe, but it's possible. Financially, it's possible. If we get Nike as a kit manufacturer, it's possible. There's lots of if, ands or maybes here, but again, there's a lot of stuff we can easily join the dots with. Him meeting LeBron James, him being pictured with Daniel Sturridge, him talking about how much he admired Liverpool, him talking about playing Liverpool on FIFA, him saying that if he wants to win the Ballon d'Or, he has to win the Champions League, and the fact that he's come out and said that he's unlikely to sign a new deal, or reports have said he's unlikely to sign a new deal with PSG. Wish Liverpool spend more money on the women's team. We did win the Women's Premier League a few seasons ago. I know they've revamped the league a little bit. I honestly don't know what the budgets are for Liverpool, but I know that they did win it. The manager that won it with Liverpool, I think, is managing West Ham now, if memory serves me correct. Are we saving up for the big one? Said Tonic. Do you know, that's kind of what I think, pal. I do. I wonder that as well. Like when people say we don't do much this summer because we're going to go massive next summer, you never know. Could be. And we're all thinking that in the same thing here, aren't we? Hashtag Mbappe 2020. Do you think Divock deserves a pay rise? Absolutely deserves a pay rise. 100%. He's got 1 year left on his deal. I think we'd still rather keep him for this year and let him go on a free if he refused to sign. I don't think he will. I think he's happy here. I think he knows now he's winning the fans over as well. And I think he'll sign a new deal. A new deal that he's thoroughly earned, in my opinion. Red Hulk said, it's hard to chat these days with the chat going so fast, channels growing so well. It's really tough for me as well, mate, because I feel like a dickhead when I don't get to read out as many comments as I used to. Adwith said, Craig will Uar, God, you love making me say that name, lads, don't you? Join Liverpool. He seems like a talented midfielder. See, here's the problem I have with that. No doubt about his quality. I fully agree with you there. My problem there is with Leon losing too many midfielders. So Fekir, they've told he can leave. And Ndombele looks like he could be on his way to Spurs, or he is on his way to Spurs most likely. It looks like Depay I know he's more of an attacker, but it looks like Depay wants his way out as well. So if you add Uar to that list, and maybe Mendy, who they lost as their right back to Real Madrid, he's a right back, isn't he? To Real Madrid. There's only so many players that Leon will sell this summer, so again, I don't know about that. So maybe he's going to have to stay one more year. Mr. Bud, who said, love your channel, keep up the good work, thank you. But as always, when people say, Craig, love your channel, I have to give a shout out to Connor, because without Connor Crosby, this channel wouldn't exist. We do this together. I'm the one that sits in front of the camera, but Connor's the one that does all the design work and the other bits and pieces, make sure the channel takes over, and I keep saying it wouldn't be here without Connor Crosby. Of course, Brian Morrissey, Dave, Cash, Chris, everybody else that's contributed as well. Coming in late, great shows. Don't think we'll make a major signing, if any, said Dino Foster. Yeah, I suppose again, Dino, mate, it's what's a massive signing or what's a major signing. It's a bit subjective. I've said it all summer. If we don't buy an attacking player, as much trust as I have in Klopp, I think it'll be a mistake. I think it'll be a big mistake if we don't bring him back up. We've lost Daniel Sturridge. You can say replace him with Ryan Brewster. Sound, I'm happy with that. You've got Divock there. I still think we need one more. You can play Shaqiri. You can talk about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Bobby Duncan. Fucking thinking of darts. Jesus, get your shit together. Bobby Duncan. Galaxel. Probably too early for them. Although on Bobby Duncan or Bobby George, if he wants to start playing darts, there is something weird after coming up today. Benfica and Porto, and Stephen Richards sent me this as well earlier on. Benfica and Porto are both interested in Bobby Duncan, according to Portuguese outlet Record. If the reports to be believed, both clubs would apparently look on a loan to buy deal. They kind of, in the article, they talk a little bit about the way English players now are starting to head to foreign clubs. They use the example of Jadon Sancho, Reece Oxford, and a few others who went over to Germany. Bobby Duncan to go to Benfica or Porto, I would find it very, very odd. He's a very, very good footballer, and he's got every chance of making. I think he scored something like 25, 26 goals last season for the under-23s. I just don't know, ladies and gents. I can't see it happening. I mean, it just seems like a lazy ass rumour, but it's also a very random thing to say. Stephen Richards said, I love the Madagascar kid. Every time I watch Madagascar, most people probably think of the kids film when they think of Madagascar, but I think of Madagascar vanilla, as in the ice cream. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm a fat fuck, but whenever I hear Madagascar, I think of Madagascar vanilla. Lee Newman said, if we get Bruno, I'll be happy. And Lee's a United fan, obviously talking about Fernandes going there, which, if reports are to be believed, I know Mark Goldbridge very confident on it as well. Roberto said, apparently Pogba is literally begging Solskjaer for a Juventus move. Again, Roberto, definitely seen links there, mate. Definitely seen links to Real Madrid as well. I think United would probably be wise to move on Paul Pogba if they can get the money that they want from him and reinvest that and get some non-dabbing footballers. Which, you know, it is hard when you've got Jesse Lingard there as well, doing his little foolish dances all over the place. And Marcus Rashford looks like he's about to sign a 250 grand a week deal or something along those lines. I've seen the list of their strikers. So Martial, I think 250 grand a week. Rashford 250 grand a week. I can't remember what Pogba was on. And then you had Alexis Sanchez on 400 and something grand a week. Like, that's a lot of money going out for not a lot of impact from the players. What's your predictions for the Community Shield, Norwich and UEFA Super Cup final? The Community Shield, I'm probably in the minority here, Christine, in that I genuinely couldn't give a shit about it. I don't care if we lose, I don't care if we win. It's the Community Shield, it's for charity. I don't think it'll have a major impact on our season if we beat or lose to Manchester City. So I hope we win, but it depends on what team we have available and who's, if Mo goes far in the African Cup of Nations, if Brazil go and win the Copa America, we mightn't have the players back long enough to play them in that game. So I'm willing to write off that game. Then we come to Norwich and the Super Cup. The Super Cup I want to win. I absolutely want Liverpool to go and win that, and I think we will beat Chelsea. Norwich, you have to fancy us to beat Norwich. So Community Shields, I can see it going to penalties. Norwich, I can see us winning handily, and the Super Cup, I can see us probably winning by a couple of goals as well. Big mistake not signing Fernandes, said Stephen Gill. Possibly, Stephen. Like Pepe, he's one of the two players I've openly said I haven't seen much of, other than a few bits and pieces for Portugal. What I will say on Bruno Fernandes is, and call me arrogant about this if you want, but if Liverpool wanted Bruno Fernandes would be a Liverpool player, because we're much more attractive than Manchester United at this moment in time. And if we could guarantee him that he's going to get a look in, that he spoke openly about how he admires Liverpool's style of play. He actually put us above Manchester City in suiting his particular style. And no matter what happens now, if he signs for United, they'll never be able to stop us from reminding them of that one as well, just on a wind-up. But it does look like he's United bound, and I don't know if we've ever really been interested in him. I genuinely don't know. I've seen reports that we bid €45 million from at one point, but if they want 70, and that is the figure that keeps being put out there, then why would we bother our arse with €45 million if we know they want 70? I mean, that Michael Edwards is a genius and all, but there's too big of a gap there. United will be 11th in the Premier League come January 2020, said Dino Foster. Jesse Lingard, 27-year-old prospect, the young Jesse Lingard. How much dead weight have United got? Obscene wages for average players, said Peter van der Schans. And Lee Newman said, Sanchez needs to go, he's a fraud, 400k a week for nothing. Well, not for nothing, Lee. He did make a DVD, let's not forget. He did make a movie. Fuck all to do with United. But you did get him playing the piano. So you'll always have that one, Lee, for that 400 grand a week, which is mad. 400 grand a week. I still believe, by the way, that United signed him just to stop Man City getting him. Ericsson will be a top signing for the Reds, would fit our system perfectly, said Carl Richards. Coutinho's going to United. He absolutely 100% is not going to United, Barry. Just not happening. That is guaranteed not happening. He's even basically said he's not going to United, so you can forget about that one. Ericsson coming to Liverpool, I'd love, Carl. I'd absolutely love him to come and fit in our system. Himself and Son, I think, are two players from Spurs that we could drop into our team tomorrow, and they do a great job. Ericsson, a few weeks ago, I'd have probably said he's going to Real Madrid. Even with the Hazard signing, I just don't know if Real Madrid will want to deal with Daniel Levy, because he's a really tough negotiator. And I know when I listened to a podcast a while back, I think it was Graham Hunter maybe talking about it, and he was saying that, if it wasn't Graham Hunter, by the way, I apologise, but I think it was Graham Hunter, he was saying that Florentino Perez just doesn't want to deal with Daniel Levy, that the thoughts of going for Kane or Pochettino or anything like that, the Gareth Bale thing, I think, was just the final straw for Florentino Perez with dealing with Daniel Levy. That's how tough he negotiates. Craig, don't panic, Klopp has a plan. I'm not panicking at all, Stephen. I fully believe we're going to get this player in that I think we need. And Klopp definitely does have a plan, and Klopp has earned our trust and respect. No French League players can handle the Premier League, said Just Got To. There's been a few that have made it, mate. Mahrez being an example. I suppose you could say Henry, but he did go to Juventus from Monaco. I think if that's the right way that went about. And there's been other French players that have come in and definitely done the job in the Premier League. But yeah, there are a lot of examples of them not working out. Bruno Cheyrou being one for us. Anthony Letalek being another one for Liverpool. Florence Pongolle, did he come in from a French club as well at the time? I think he might have. That didn't work out really either. Ericsson snubbed us for Spurs. We don't want him. He didn't snub us for Spurs. I think we were at that. Well, I'm not saying we weren't interested, by the way, Peter. Sorry, I'm just going to try and elaborate on what I was trying to say. I think when he was at Ajax, we definitely knew about him and looked at him, but we were in a really bad place then. We were making what seemed like pathetic offers for players at times, and he went to Spurs, and it was one of those Daniel Levy signings where he waited and waited and waited, and seeing that none of the other clubs are really going to make a move, and then pulled the trigger. He got a bargain. It turned out to be an absolutely wonderful player for Spurs. What do you think of Leipzig's Yusuf Poulsen? He's just outscored Werner last season. A man as tall as Andy Carroll and as fast as Arnautovic. I'm surprised nobody's in the market for him. I know the guy you're on about, and I have seen bits and pieces of him. I just can't see him fitting in our system. Not from what I've seen anyway. Good, strong player, as you've said. I don't know if he outscored Werner. I'm taking you at your word for that, mate, because you've obviously got more details on it than I have. Just doesn't seem like the type of player for us. When Timo Werner's available and has 1 year left on his Leipzig contract, it'd be a damn shame for Leipzig if he ends up going to Bayern Munich on a free, by the way. So it'd be in their interests to sell him abroad. Martin P. Matheson said a player named Diatta is linked with PSG and he's from my favourite team, Sarpsborg in Norway. Nice. Is he good? Is he any use, Martin? It's always nice to know about up-and-coming players. Klopp has said that he won't go back to Dortmund. Klopp has said he won't. Do you mean for players, Martin? There's no written agreement, but there might be a verbal agreement. Griezmann is full of himself. He absolutely is, Mossy. I really don't like Antoine Griezmann. Don't like him. Don't like Neymar. Don't like Pogba. I just don't like arrogant footballers, to be honest. It could be worse though, Craig, mate. Could be Newcastle fans or have a voice like Gary Neville rather than pure beautiful scouts. I talk here living round the corner from the ground. You lucky bastard. Do you know, for a start, mate, I'd love to be living just that close to Anfield. Yeah, you're right. We are very lucky, mate. And I got a feel for the Geordies. I really do. I hope they get a better owner than Mike Ashley. Losing Rafael Benitez, it's a travesty for them. I mean, Benitez loved it there. The fans loved him. The only major problem, of course, was dealing with Mike Ashley and the lack of funds that he was getting. So yeah, it's a crying shame for them, and I hope that shit gets sorted out for them because I have a lot of time for the Newcastle fans. Would I have Pogba at Liverpool? No, mate, I wouldn't. He's capable of being really, really good, Paul Pogba. I've seen him absolutely just glide through games and look £1,000,000, but I've also seen him in games where he sulks. I have this thing about Pogba where I feel like he tries to show with his upper body strength too much and he takes too long. So he's more interested in shielding off a player or stepping across to block the ball when there's a pass on, but he wants to show how strong he is. So he takes that extra 2 or 3 seconds and then the move breaks down and he ends up having to turn back the direction he was coming from. And that infuriates me about Pogba because he is a natural athlete. He's very fast. When he gets in full flight, he's very difficult to stop. Extremely powerful, knows where the goal is. Loads of attributes that could make him an exceptional footballer, but he has that sulky, I don't want to pigeonhole him into an arrogant kind of French attitude, but he kind of does, if you get where I'm coming from. What's the update on Fernandes as it's looking strong? Is that what you're looking for? The update, I don't have an update. It looks like he's gone to United, as far as I'm concerned. I love our fans who say sell Lover and sell Origi, sell Naby. Yeah, they're, I don't know what to say, they're fantasy football manager fans, mate. Why would you... Lallana, I kind of understand. I would be in the camp to move on Lallana personally, but I'm also in the camp that understands how much he wants to prove himself, and that does hold some weight as well, and it should hold some weight with fans because he loves it here. He's training early, wants to prove his fitness, wants to show the manager what he's about. Origi has stood up this season in the big moments and scored some really important goals. So all I ever want in a footballer is to feel like they're giving 100% for the team, and Lallana seems like he wants to do that. Origi seems like he wants to learn and push on, and that's sound for me. What about 50 million for Fernandes plus Bobby Duncan? We're not going to sell Bobby Duncan. There's no way that's going to happen. Wherever he might go on loan somewhere, that absolutely could happen, but I genuinely don't think we're interested in Bruno Fernandes. I've not seen anybody that I would believe say that we're interested in him. The only thing that kind of got us going a little bit were those odds when they fell the other day. Do you remember we were on a stream and the odds went right down to 1-9 out of nowhere, and it seems for no reason other than maybe a flood of money going on the deal happening. We have to sign a superstar. No, we don't. Why do we have to sign a superstar, Mohammed? When have we ever signed superstars as well? I mean, we could go hashtag Mbappe 2020, but yeah, I don't know. Do we? We usually make them, as the saying goes between Liverpool fans. I'm with you in that we need to sign someone, mate, and we need to sign somebody in an attacking sense, but it doesn't have to be a superstar. It just has to be somebody that Jurgen Klopp feels can come in and do a job. Dave said, how does your voice not go? Mine does on live streams. It kind of does, Dave, from time to time, and sometimes I have to spend a few hours during the day not speaking, or just giving thumbs up to the family or thumbs down, or sending messages back and forth to rest my voice. Specifically when we do watch along, so we usually do a watch along would take half an hour beforehand the game, half time a few minutes after, probably 2 hours 15 minutes for a watch along, then a post match show. So some nights I'd be on here talking for 4.5-5 hours, and my voice the next day is just shattered. So yeah, it's starting to get to the point now after a really busy end of the season where I'm looking at taking a few more days off here and there to rest my voice before the season starts, because it looks like sitting here on a chair in front of a computer is doing nothing, but it really is mentally draining. There's been days where I've gone downstairs and can't write my fucking name. I'm that mentally exhausted after doing 4 or 5 hours. Not that I'm complaining, I wouldn't change it for the world. I absolutely love being on here. Sorry, I've got a bit of a head cold, by the way, in case you can't notice that today. I'm a little bit sniffly, and I fully blame my family on giving me this head cold. Bastards. They were all sick and I was laughing at them, and then it looks like I'm starting to get it now. Salah gone. Alright, Mohammed, you're starting to fucking annoy me now, mate. Somebody just get rid of Mohammed. I couldn't be arsed dealing with his nonsense. This is where the mods need to step up. Typical us. Next, somehow Mane gone, Salah gone. Just piss off, mate. Honestly, you're a miserable fuck, and I couldn't be arsed dealing with your nonsense. Thank you, Tom. Why would you, honestly, how... I just don't like fans like that. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, of course they are, but some people are just depressed and miserable for the sake of it when it comes to Liverpool Football Club. Now, I'm not talking about someone's personal life when I say depressed and miserable there. I wouldn't dare throw that at anybody. I'm purely talking about when it comes to Liverpool. I can't be arsed with it, to be fair. It's just... sign everybody and free for this player. Fuck off. Honestly, just give it a rest. We just won the Champions League. We've just got 97 points in the Premier League. And some people want to moan about life with regards to the club. Come on. It's fucking brilliant being a Liverpool fan. You should be on here every day or wherever you are, walking around with a smile on your face. I feel like going into the shopping centre, into Tesco, walking past people and just going like that, tipping people on the shoulder and just going, 6. Did I mention 6? Getting the tannoy in the shop and going, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tesco Gory today. I just want to let you know, 6 European Cups, motherfuckers, suck on that. That's how I feel in the world going around at the minute. Still floating on cloud 9 after the Reds demolishing Barcelona 4-0 at Anfield. I'm never going to forget that, ever. No matter what else happens in the next 10 years of football, that night, that moment, being on here with you guys, seeing Messi broken, Coutinho broken, Suarez broken, seeing the shithousery from Andy Robertson, seeing Divock doing what he does, seeing Gini Wijnaldum, seeing that Trent Alexander-Arnold corner. All of it. Wouldn't swap it for the world. Wouldn't care if we didn't sign a player for the next 2 years. I'd still be happy. Even though I want signings. Because I do think we need a forward. But at that, this manager's earned our trust. Look where we were when he came in. Look where we are now. European champions. It's as simple as that. Chin up, guys. That's all I'm trying to say here in a very long-winded way. We have a team full of superstars, said Malcolm Fielding. 6 times European champions. 6 times, which we are. Can't argue with 6. Just say 6, said Germanus. Keep the faith, we're champions of Europe, said Pat Moynihan. Wind up merchants, said Peter. Yes, sometimes, myself and Brian Morrissey spoke about this on the phone last night after the stream. We are starting to notice trends in the way some people post to get attention. Yeah, it is very clever until you figure it out and then you just see it straight through it. And somebody like that Mohammed guy, who no doubt is absolutely fucking smacking the thumbs down button as we speak, calling me a bald bastard, calling me a fat prick, and everything else he can possibly say. Yeah, I don't care, to be honest, because we just don't need that in our fan base. Oxlade-Chamberlain would be immense if he stays fit, said Craig. Not this Craig Adams. It used to be an eternal jinx, and Farwell told me this from the first time I met him, and the boys have helped to show me, no, I'm not the jinx 6 times. Yeah, I remember having conversations with Farrell on the phone throughout the season, and he's like, I'm a fucking jinx. I'm telling you now. I feel like I'm responsible for us not winning the league. Well, as soon as we won that European Cup, and myself, Dave, Brian and Connor were celebrating, I picked up the phone and I rang Farrell because I wanted him to feel that we were thinking about him, and I wanted him to know that he isn't a jinx. He's a damn fine fella. Seriously, Craig, life is beautiful, especially when the Reds are doing their stuff, said Claire Dean. It is, and I didn't even call you an escort today, Claire, so I'm already one up on the stream. Joe Hart will have the worst end of his career at Burnley, said Martin. I've never really rated Joe Hart. Do you remember there was a period where some people were thinking Joe Hart to Liverpool? I just couldn't get that. What did he say to get banned? Is this the Mohammed guy? He just post, every one of them getting more negative, being more degrading of the club's transfer business, mate, and without any rhyme or reason other than, we'll probably sell Mane next and then Salah's off, and just that kind of behaviour, Steve. Ben said I'd swap the European Cup for the Premier League. I'm not going to lie, Ben, I would as well. I'm not going to lie, mate. At the start of the season, the Premier League was my number one priority. But you know what? If there is a next best thing, the Champions League has to be it, because how frustrating would it have been to end that season playing the way that we played, losing one game in the league all year, and to walk away without a trophy? I couldn't have imagined how that would have felt. And thankfully we don't have to, because, 6. Stephen Richards said, Craig, I'm a ball bastard, but I love Liverpool FC, and I can confirm 100% that Stephen Richards is absolutely bald as I am. Ignore it, mate. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Jordan. Did you hear about the girl who died in County Louth? Nope, I didn't, Josh. Obviously, sincere condolences. I didn't hear about her passing, but again, it's always terrible to hear of anyone's passing. Domina said, Craig, how about a swap the Champions League for the Premier League? It is funny, isn't it? The one thing City probably craved more than anything, and the one thing Liverpool probably craved more than anything, and both clubs ended up winning a big trophy. Well, City got to treble, in fairness to them. But yeah, it is funny, isn't it, the way it worked out. Who's winning the Copa America? Asks Master. Let me put that one into the chat. Guys, who do you think is winning the Copa America? Brazil, favourites surely. Who's in the semis? Brazil, Argentina, Chile and Peru. Is that right for the semi-final lineup? Anytime the Liverpool players sing You'll Never Walk Alone, with the fans I cry, said Gaiman Guy. What got me after the semi-final win against Barcelona was James Milner. Seeing James Milner crying when the singing You'll Never Walk Alone, that got me, because it was the one trophy he probably thought he wasn't going to get to win in his career. Excuse me. And yeah, that got me going, to be honest. And then in the final, Henderson with his father, that was a very poignant moment as well. Do you think Mane will get the Golden Boot this season or Salah? They're both capable of it, Martin. They really are both capable of it. If I'm being 100% honest, and I do like to be 100% honest on here, and I'd like to know your thoughts on this. If Sergio Aguero stays fit all season, any season, my honest belief is that Sergio Aguero is the best forward in the Premier League. I honestly, hand on heart, believe that Sergio Aguero is just a goal scoring machine. He just is. That's my honest opinion. I'm not saying I think he's better than Salah or Mane because he's an out and out centre forward and his job is to score goals. I just think if he's fit, I would always make him favourite for the Golden Boot. But Mane won it this year, obviously, along with Aubameyang and Salah, and he's absolutely capable of doing it again next year. Nageb said Argentina big favourites for him for the Copa America. I would have thought Brazil. Cameron said Peru for Tom Boland. Love the Peru, love the underdogs. Emlyn said Peru. Claire said, of course, Peru. This is going to be a really odd question, Claire, but is there much love for Paddington Bear in Peru? Like, is he mentioned much? Is he a big thing over there, him coming from Peru and all? If we lost the Champions League final, we would have been under pressure to buy big again, said Neil Anthony. I never once for a second believed that we were going to lose that Champions League final. Never. As soon as I thought, in my head, the semi-final was the final. And once I knew we were playing Spurs, I fully believed, come hell or high water, we'd get over the line somehow. And we didn't put in our greatest performance. I think we can all admit to that one. But we got the job done, and that's all it was about, was getting over the line and these players getting a taste of winning. And winning is addictive, and winning breeds more winning, and confidence breeds confidence, and I think Liverpool will push on now. He's not better than Hazard. Who? Are we talking about Aguero? Fuck Hazard, mate, as far as I'm concerned. Sergio Aguero is and if we're talking about goals as well, I mean, Mohamed Salah is better than Hazard when it comes to scoring goals. Sergio Aguero is a million times better than Eden Hazard when it comes to scoring goals. And that's what we're talking about there, scoring goals. His record speaks for itself. As I said when I did the video at 888 on Hazard, it took him 5 years to score 50 Premier League goals, whereas Mohamed Salah did it in less than 2. So that's my thoughts on Hazard. But look, thankfully Hazard's fucked off to Real Madrid now. We don't have to think about him anymore. What about Kane when he's fully fit? Excellent goal scorer as well. I mean, I'm not trying to belittle anybody else. Just my honest opinion was that on Aguero, and I think if we're being honest with ourselves, you have to admit Aguero is a goal scoring machine. People who are talking about all round play, 100%, you can make arguments for Salah, Mane, all of them. I get it. I was just looking at that from a purely goal scoring perspective. I wouldn't swap Aguero for Salah or Mane, not a hope, because I know what they bring to our team. But I was looking at it just from the goal scoring perspective. Farwild said, I have to say, after the Champions League win, meeting Craig and the family, my moment of the season was the video call after we won the Champions League. Pure utter joy. Craig, Connor, Dave and Brian. Yeah, it was great. It was brilliant, Dave, to be able to give you a call and share it with you, mate. That was just a mad day. Brazil are definitely being better without Neymar, said Happily Eggs. How do you think we'll set up if we get Phil back? With a 4-3-3, him as centre mid, or a 4-2-3-1? I don't know, Jack, because I can make an argument for either thing that you've said there, and I think the system would probably suit better with a 4-2-3-1 for Coutinho. But I don't know if Jurgen Klopp would change. It is interesting though. Yeah, it would be interesting. I guess we'll find out if he comes back, which he probably won't, to be fair. Looks like he's being used as a make weight in that deal for what's his face. Sorry, Neymar, I was getting confused there. I was checking how many were watching the stream. What else we got? Yassar, mate, if you want to tag somebody, excuse me, just don't leave a space, buddy, between the @ and the name. That's how you'll be able to tag them. So just @ Barry Lee in that instance. Do I like the Cure? Not really. Actually, I did watch Glastonbury yesterday. I enjoyed Liam Gallagher. Really enjoyed the Killers set. I love the Killers. I thought they were brilliant. It was great to see them bring on the Pet Shop Boys as well. Yeah, good. Really enjoyed that. Probably watch the Cure tonight though. Probably will watch it back. I can't wait to see Brewster in action. Said Jordan, mate. I'm with you. I'm absolutely over the moon to see him. Sorry, I'm just reading my notes for 1 sec. Right, so the Express, who I think it's fair to say I wouldn't class as reliable at all, just my opinion, but they've apparently said Liverpool have decided against making a move for Bruno Fernandes. Now, I kind of agree on this perspective, but I don't think it's because of news from the Express. That happens to be my opinion. They went on to say that Liverpool, Spurs and United have all been linked with the player, and he's believed to be valued at around £70 million by Sporting Lisbon. And as I said earlier on, it looks very likely United are favourites to go and get that player. But I fully also believe if we wanted him, we'd have got him, because we can offer him more than United. And I'm not talking about a financial package there. I'm talking about from a footballing perspective, Champions League, potential for trophies. And I'm so glad to be able to say that as a Liverpool fan these days. What's this? Manila's off to Napoli. What a defence that will be with Koulibaly. Express in the UK equals the Star in the US, said Far Isle. Guys, we're only 19 subscribers away from 17,600, and we are trying to get our asses to 20k before or as close to the season starting as we can. So if you're watching and you are enjoying the stream, please do take a moment to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up as well. What else have we got? Who was a better striker, Owen or Fowler? Fowler for me, Peter. I think Michael Owen was great, but I think Robbie Fowler was one of the most natural goal scorers I've ever seen. And, you know, for Liverpool fans, there's a reason he's called God. Pepe looks to be leaving Lille as they just signed as possible replacements. Yes, the Timothy Weah guy, is that him from PSG? Wasn't he the guy that was on loan at Celtic as well, or do I have that wrong? Do you think he could come to Anfield? He has the attributes. Okay, I can't rule out. I can pretty much rule out Fernandes from what I believe, but I can honestly say with Pepe, I don't know. That could go either way. I haven't got a clue whether he will or will not sign for Liverpool. I just don't know. Nor do I know if I want him, because I don't know if he's good enough, because I haven't seen enough of him. What I will say is, whoever we sign will get my backing immediately, because Jurgen Klopp hasn't made many, if any, mistakes in the transfer market yet. Craig, going to be a big football tournament in County Laois with my football team, and the tournament there are a total of 32 teams. Nice one, enjoy. I always love going playing competitive football, mate. I'm ridiculously competitive with anything, Anthony, mate. I don't let my kids win at fucking board games or anything. Like, I just don't like losing. I always say when I get to the point my kids beat me at that, and it's because they've earned it. I'm just a horribly competitive person. Did I see Salah's screamer? Yes. Is it Adejoki? Did I get that right? I did, mate. Wonderful free kick. I'm delighted for him. Absolutely delighted for him. And thank you for watching, by the way, mate. I don't know if you're a regular viewer or not, but it's great to have you with us. He was on loan at Celtic. Thank you, Jack. Sometimes I get players mixed up. Tomorrow, my favourite team, Sarpsborg, is playing, said Martin. I think you said that earlier on, mate. Oh, no, you were letting us know about a player that was going from there, actually, weren't you? Van Dijk said, just seen Salah screamer free kick for Egypt today. Totally class. Wouldn't swap him for anyone. I'm defo not ruling out Fernandes, said Mossy. Mate, it looks like he's nailed on for United, honestly. Everything I'm reading, including Mark being really confident about this, Mark Goldbridge, I think he's going to United. What do I think of Sané? I really, really like Leroy Sané, Gerald. I really like him. I couldn't understand why he was being linked with a move away from Manchester City. I don't know if it was a contract negotiation ploy on his behalf, or if there was something between himself and Pep Guardiola, but he wasn't getting as much game time as I was expecting. But yeah, he's a great player, Leroy Sané. I'm not going to lie, when they signed him from Schalke, I would have loved Liverpool to have gotten him. Any podcasts coming out? Yes, recording one tomorrow, Nigeb, with Brian and with Dave. And I was also asked to go on a podcast as a guest, which I'm just trying to sort out before I give you guys any details on it. But yeah, I was asked by another Liverpool podcast to go on and have a chat, and I'm always happy to do that. Yeah, if I have time, if it's available, I'm always happy to go on another pod and have a chat because I just love chatting about the Reds with other Reds. What have we got? Did Owen get more than 20 Premier League goals a season? I think he did it once. I think, yes, sir. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm shocking when it comes to remembering statistics and stuff like that. I think he might have, He must have scored 20 Premier League goals in a season at one point. Any news on Timo Werner? Nope. Nothing at all, mate. Sorry. I wish I had better news on Werner. Craig Adams 667 said, I'm excited about Mbappe rumours. We're already lowered our wage bill by 100k with Sturridge going. I would say more than that, mate. I think Daniel Sturridge was on 150. I think 140, 150, maybe something along those lines. He was one of our higher earners. Who else? We have moved on Alberto Moreno's wages as well. We can't forget about that. We have 20 million coming in from the sale of Danny Ings to Southampton. Ryan Kent looks like he'll move on. I'm not sure about Mignolet, but either way, he'd have to be replaced. Grujic looks like he's gone back out on loan, probably to Hertha Berlin, if reports are to be believed. That looks like I spoke about this last night. He did sign a contract extension before he went on loan to Hertha last season. He is contracted to the Reds until 2023. So for me, this is going to be a massive season for Marco Grujic, and I'm going to follow his season closely over in Germany because I really believe in that kid. Well, at 23 is he a kid? I don't know, but I really believe in him as a footballer. I think he has the attributes to be able to make it at a top club. Cam vlogs, you're relying on 1 hour sleep, mate. You need sleep, mate. Even for your health, your well-being, you need to get sleep. Callum said I'd take Sané for 75 million. So would I. In a heartbeat, mate. In a heartbeat, I'd take him for 75 million. Farrell said, we all know this and the next may be slow because we're saving up for hashtag Mbappe 2020. What do you think of the King of Norwegian legend from Bournemouth? You which, what, and who, where? I don't know who the hell you're talking about, mate. Sorry. I think Klopp's worst signing was Klavan. He was not terrible. How dare you, sir? How dare you, Peter van der Schans, even dare say a bad word about Ragnar King Klavan? His worst signing. I mean, what was Klavan? $1.5 million, $2 million, something like that. It was very reasonable. For me, his signing with the least impact was probably Loris Karius. But even at that, you're talking $3.5, $4 million for a goalkeeper who you've moved on now for maybe 12 million. So even at that, you're still talking about turning a very healthy profit. But yeah, his Klopp's transfers have been great. Junior Vinicius would be a great player, said John got two. I remember John reading a story, a few months back now, I think, that Real Madrid contacted Liverpool to try and find out about Sadio Mane's availability. And the story said that they were told 150 million and Vinicius Junior, and we could have a conversation. I don't know how true that was. It was probably bullshit, but I haven't seen much of him for Real Madrid because I don't really watch much Real Madrid because I genuinely don't like them. Good night, Dave, mate. Talk to you soon. When is the Community Shield and the Super Cup? The Community Shield is August the 4th and the Super Cup is, I think it's the 14th, if memory serves me correct. It's 10 days or so, 10 or 11 days after the Community Shield. Big boy Klavan. The man of 1 million step overs, Raggy. Gotta love Raggy. We don't need to sign a midfielder, in my opinion, said Zafilio. Don't need an attacking mid. We have 3 in Oxlade-Chamberlain, Lallana and Keita. Yeah, for me, mate, it's a wide forward that we need. Somebody that can play anywhere across the front 3. Yes, sir, said Craig, just checked. Owen never got past the 20 goal mark in the Premier League goals. The max he got was 19. I'm shocked. That shocked me as well. Yes, thank you for checking. Yes, sir, mate. That is mad, isn't it? Yeah, and Salah and Mane have already passed it, as you said. And Michael Owen was an out-and-out striker. That is crazy. Who remembers Grujić's header against Barcelona? What a header that was at Wembley, mate. What a header. Who else would watch City play and you see Sané getting ready to come on, probably expect a goal? Yeah, for me, one of the most obvious times that I thought that was when the City were playing United and Leroy Sané came on, when I think, if I remember correctly, Manchester City were 1-0 up at that point, and you just seen United's heads just went. They just dropped. They knew Sané was going to come on and tear them apart. So yeah, I get where you're coming from. He does have that impact. Which is why I didn't understand the links from him to Bayern Munich. I mean, from Bayern's perspective, I get it, but for Manchester City, I wouldn't have a clue why they'd even consider selling him. Talk Shite said Sturridge was on 100 grand a week. Well, I wouldn't believe a damn thing that radio station has to say, Florence. I'm not having a go at you here, Florence. I just dislike that state. Anyone that employs Jason Cundy has lost my respect immediately. He was on more than 100 grand a week. I'm almost 100%. I'm as close to 100% as I could possibly be that Daniel Sturridge was on more than 100 grand a week. I did used to have a file with players' wages on it, but I think I deleted it ages ago because a lot of it was out of date. Everton apparently preparing a £50 million bid for David Neres, said Liam Hunter. I'd seen reports that they wanted 80 million for Neres, which is not worth, to be fair. I think the price point that you're talking about there is about right for him, and he's a good footballer and somebody who I think could have done a job at Liverpool as well. But if I'm going to Ajax to get a player now, it's Van der Beek. Has to be if we were to get somebody from Ajax. I don't think we need him actually, if I'm being honest, but if I had to pick somebody from Ajax, I'd probably take him. I'm very good, thank you, Big LC, tonight. I'm really good, mate. Torres was the first to reach 20 since Fowler, said Eric. Thank you for that, buddy. This is why I love coming on here. I learn stuff all the time. Chad Scott said, I love the diversity we have in the team. New young Africans, South Americans, the world have all noticed Liverpool Football Club. Future market looks good, sitting in a good spot, enjoying the chat, keep it up. Thank you very much. And again, like you've said there, Chad, mate, yeah, it's great. It's great to be a Liverpool fan. Things are pretty damn good at the minute. Pepe would be perfect for a front three, said Craig Adams. Sturridge was on 160 grand a week, said Got Cool. I knew it was more than 100. I don't know, 100, 120, 140, whatever it might have been, but I know he was on over 100. I'm almost certain of that, as I said. Callum said Van der Beek is overrated. It's an opinion-based thing, I suppose, Callum. You're entitled to yours and I'll have mine. And I suppose we'll just see how his career maps out. Sturridge will do well in another mid-table Premier League club, said Peter van der Schanz. Has anybody seen anything on Sturridge and where he might go? I know we all probably thought the MLS, but he's a free agent as things stand. Wasn't Sturridge one of the top wage earners? Yes, he was. James Milner was as well, because he came in on a free contract, so he got a pretty decent wage. But then the front three signed their new contracts, and I think Sadio, Mo and Bobby are all on around the 200 grand a week before bonuses. Gaming Tube said Aouar is better than Van der Beek. I just don't know, mate. Van der Beek for me would be a great replacement / backup in the long term for Henderson and Milner. I just like his energy. Any news on Ziyech? I'd seen yesterday there were two clubs negotiating with Ajax at €30 million. There was another report that said that there is no buyout clause in his contract because apparently Ajax, as a rule, don't insert them in players' contracts. But €30 million is apparently a price they're willing to talk at, and they had been talking with a few clubs. I'd be lying if I told you the names because I just don't remember. Brian Morrissey reckons Sturridge was on 150. We could get David Neres at Kirby, yeah, and we were linked to him earlier on in the window. It's gone very quiet on that one. Like for players that we've been genuinely linked to, like Neres, Fekir, Werner, even Pepe, I suppose, to an extent, it's all gone very, very, very quiet. Sturridge to Celtic, no way they'd afford his wages. Not a chance they'd be able to afford Sturridge's wages. Like Daniel Sturridge on a free contract is not going to go anywhere for less than 120 grand a week, I'd say. Lozano's a cheaper option than Neres, and he's better, said LFC 1892. It is quite odd actually that Lozano hasn't been looked at by more clubs, because he has had quite a good season at PSV. I wish we could build Anfield to 80k. So hard to get tickets, mate. I'm with you. Last season was, as I keep saying this, last season, I'm 37 years of age, going to be 38 in September. Last season was my first year as an adult that I didn't get to go to a game at Anfield, and it was purely because I refused to pay travel agency prices. I refused to pay €400 for a hotel match ticket. That's without travel. And this season, it's looking like I'm going to suffer a similar fate. That I've seen the packages. There's a few companies that do travel over here in Ireland, over to England, and I've already seen the prices that they're looking at for games. And again, I could bring my family to Orlando. Like, some of the prices that these guys are charging for one trip would be the same price as me flying to Orlando for a week on my own. Like, that kind of money we're talking about here. I can't in good conscience do it anymore, and it pisses me off, because I only said to my wife earlier on, it's been horrible that I haven't gotten to a game in the past year. Like, I used to go to 5, 6, 7 sometimes a season. But like you, I know, please excuse my moaning here, because I don't believe I've any divine right to tickets the same as anybody else. We're all in the same boat together here. But yeah, the thoughts of another season now potentially without getting over, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope I can get tickets somewhere, even for one game or two, because it's been a real pain in the arse not getting a chance to go over. I looked at corporate tickets for this season, and for was it Norwich, Newcastle, and maybe Watford or something like that, I looked at, and it was £405 or £410 just for a ticket to the Carlsberg dugout, I think it was. That's just for a fucking match ticket, like £400 and something from the club site. And then you'd have to have a membership on top of that, of course, so that's another, 40 something quid. Yeah, it's getting tougher, so I can understand the calls for wanting Anfield to get to 80k. It probably wouldn't even touch the sides though with that, because the season ticket waiting list is closed. I think is there more than 20,000 people or something on that season ticket waiting list? It's difficult. It's very, very difficult, and it doesn't help when you have all these so-called official tour partners or official travel partners, and they're taking the piss. Some of the prices going to, like, the Barcelona game as an example. Barcelona game, one particular tour operator here in Ireland, to just travel over for that game for a hotel and a match ticket. There was no travel again included in this. It was 799 quid for a hotel and match ticket. And then you would have to easily throw another 300 quid on top of that for flights for a Champions League semi-final minimum, because Ryanair, Aer Lingus and stuff would know about it. So you're talking about 1,100 quid to go over to watch Liverpool playing Barcelona. To fucking Liverpool, like, not to travel over to Barcelona. Like, we're talking about just a half an hour flight. Anyway, excuse my little moaning there. Sorry, Gard, I didn't mean to go off there. All you did was say I want Anfield to be expanded to 80k, and then I went off moaning. Next time you get in a plane in Barcelona, start shouting "Si, senor." Just get the microphone and go, "Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, there's something that the captain wants you to know. The best there is Bobby Firmino. Si, senor." Imagine doing that on a plane. Imagine going up and just taking the fucking air steward or air stewardess's microphone and just saying, "There's something the captain wants you to know. The best there is Bobby Firmino." I wonder if the plane would start singing. Surely they would. I mean, everybody supports Liverpool at this point, don't they? What happened to the emojis? I don't know what you mean there. What happened to the emojis? Are they gone? No, people are using them. I haven't got a clue what you mean. Still have 487 people in the chat, and we're only 13 subscribers away from 17,600, so you guys know what to do. Craig, I swear you can get to New York City for £99 from Ireland. I think the cheapest way I've ever seen a flight, mate, to New York from Ireland is €179 one way. So, what, €358 return? But even at that, it's still fucking cheaper, isn't it? Will Van den Berg be in the youth team or the main squad? I believe, Brandon, that the plan is that he will be in and around the main team, and that he will be challenging for the fourth choice centre-back position, excuse me. That's what I've read anyway. I thought when he was coming in that he would have been put into the under-23s and developed, but it seems they rate him that highly that he's gonna try and they're gonna try and integrate him straight into the first team. I'm excited for the next season, said Anthony. Of course, mate. I'm with you on that one. It's going to be great. Been talking about updating the Annie Road for quite a while. Morning from Adelaide. Yes, Pedro, good morning to you, mate. There is definitely talk about it, and as I said before, I think it was Tom Werner said after the Champions League final that there is outline planning permission to add, is it 4,500 seats or something like that, to the Annie Road end. That is in place until September. And I think, from what I've been reading, that the club are nearly at a point where they're willing to let that run out and put in new plans for a few more seats or something like that. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see. I do think it'll be done in the end. I think whatever way it will be done, whether it be 4,500 seats or they can extend it a bit more, I do think we will see that get done. It has to be. It just doesn't make sense for it not to be done. Craig, you'd end up the only playing that day with the United Air Marshal and get tasered. Still worth it though, John, wouldn't it? It'd be still worth it. Lee said, okay, I will subscribe. Good man, Lee. Glad you did, mate. Thank you. Man United fans might not support Liverpool. Yeah, fuck them though. Do you know what I mean, Zombie? If they support United anyway, you don't mind them. Just ignore them. Should we sign Yuri Tielemans? I don't think he's what we need, mate. I think Leicester are trying really, really hard to get that deal permanently done. Can we retire LA this year? No, absolutely not, mate. And it's ALLEZ, not EY. It's not Ali. But nah, fuck that, mate. We've got to keep that song. Conquered all of Europe. Do you know what I mean? What? No, we're never going to stop. Never. No, it's too good of a song to retire. Connor Crosby is Vandenberg. I know, Stephen. I still haven't seen the two of them in a room together, mate. Could well be. If you go on holiday, don't forget hotels Travago. I'm going on holiday in 3 weeks, mate. I'm going to Turkey. 22nd to the 29th of July, and then I'm going to Tenerife in October from, I think it's the 12th to the 19th, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I do have 2 holidays booked, which is why I'm trying to get content in the bag for when I'm away, so that you guys have content the week I'm away. It won't be live content, but I'll make sure that there is stuff going up on the channel. I'm just in 20 seconds. Manor Muse? That has to be a misprint, Thomas. Sorry, mate. That had to be an autocorrect. Do we need standing back? Said Lee Scouser. Do you know what, mate? Yes. I think I've been in the COP enough to know that a lot of people stand, mate. Me included, when I was in there, in the section I was in. And I know that when I've celebrated goals and seen other people celebrate goals in there, it can get quite dangerous. It can, let's be quite frank about this. The COP is very tight. There's not much room between the seats, and people do stand up. So yeah, I think safe standing. I know it's a very sensitive issue, but I do think it is at a point where it is, or rail seating, whatever you want to technically call it. I think I would like to see us lead the way on that. In England, sorry, I was going to the UK, but of course Celtic have it up in Celtic Park. I think, is there some championship clubs maybe that have it? I'm not sure. I think in the Premier League, I'd like to see Liverpool lead the way and certainly try and steer the conversation with regards to rail seating or safe standing. But I also understand that it is a very sensitive subject, and one I'm certainly not qualified to discuss. What else we got? I love the feeling when Liverpool score. Yeah, so do I, mate. Except when I take my top off or do something stupid. That comes back to haunt me. I'm going to England in 2 weeks' time to go to the British F1. Nice, John. I've often thought about going to a Formula 1 event. Are the tickets expensive for the weekend, John? With regards to like the whatchamacallit, the Grand Prix itself and the qualifying and stuff. Are the tickets for the weekend expensive? Craig, could I take Goldbridge in a fist fight? Look, I don't want to talk about fighting Mark Goldbridge, mate, because I like Mark Goldbridge. So I will plead the fifth on that one, because I've nothing but respect for Mark Goldbridge, so I'm not going to talk about fighting Goldbridge. Mr. Double Initials, though, yes, I'd definitely take him in a fight in a boxing ring, 100%. What would my plan be? fucking dance like Muhammad Ali, mate. Of course, like a fat bald Muhammad Ali. Got to take your inspiration from Tyson Fury, don't you? Will we overtake AC Milan 7 Champions Leagues? Yes, I think we will. We certainly have much more realistic chance of winning it in the coming years than they would. Equaling it would be a good achievement, and then of course you look at going past it, but I think we might equal it in the next few years. Craig, sorry for being annoying. How did you get that cut on the right of your head? It's fine question, mate, no worries. It's not a sexy story. I wish there was something great to it, like, but it was just clumsiness. I was in the bathroom. Somebody had left, the little cardboard bit from the toilet roll. Somebody left that on the floor. I bent down to pick it up. Didn't keep my bearings. Didn't realise that I was just below the bathroom cupboard and just clocked my head off it when I was coming back up. I didn't cry though. I can promise you that much. I didn't cry much. Would safe standing add to the capacity? Yes, I think it would. I don't know the exact calculations, but I do think it would add to the capacity. AC Milan done out there, said Aiden. Goldbridge is probably handier than he looks. Ex-copper, isn't he? Yes, I believe he is an ex-police officer. And he's very he's in good physical condition, as well. Let's not forget about that one. Plus, we're absolutely different weight categories. Do you know what I mean? Mark's much more fit than I would be. I'd be in the whatchamacallem, the Andy Ruiz Jr. style category of fighting, compared to Mark Goldbridge, who's probably in the Amir Khan, Kell Brook, maybe 147, 154 category, whereas I'm fucking cruiserweight / heavyweight. What else we got? Craig the Butterfly Holden, yeah, without the fucking butterfly effect. Goldbridge is sound. He is absolutely a really nice. He's going to be coming on actually. I was chatting to him the other day. Going to get him on. I'll probably wait till closer to when the season starts so we know what transfer business has been done. But yeah, he is going to come on for a chat, and I think again when Liverpool play United this season, we'll probably do a little bit with each other on each other's channels, because I like Mark, as I keep saying, just as I like Anthony as well. LCFC Boya, Expressions, Lee Chappie. I tried to get in contact with Toffee TV a while back. I did manage to get a hold of them. Yeah, I'm willing to work with anybody pretty much when it comes to talking about football, with a couple of exceptions. But yeah, in the whole, absolutely. The more people you can build bridges with, the more contacts you can get, the more opposition fans you can build relationships with. That's what it's all about. Sabrina conked him with a coffee mug. Nah, she didn't. She'd be much more vicious than that, Farrell, I promise you. As you should well know, mate. Haven't the club already said no big signings this summer? No, we've said nothing. Journalists have said it. And we might have briefed journalists. I couldn't say for certain, but sorry, somebody said Goldbridge was a DC in the Birmingham Police. I don't know what his exact role was, mate. I haven't got a clue. I know I think he said he lived in Ireland for a while as well. And I'm only saying this because I believe he said these things on the True Geordie podcast, so I don't think I'm giving out any personal information here. Who are Man City linked with? Rodri and Harry Slabhead Maguire are the ones that I've seen, Craig. Do you think DT will find your channel? I'm still waiting for him to. I don't know. I've no idea if Mr. Double Initials knows that this channel exists or not. Nor, without being mean to you here, Callum, because I like you, mate. I couldn't give a fuck what Mr. Double Initials does or does not know about me or this channel, because I've no respect or admiration or I just don't like him, as you know. So I hope he never finds the channel. I hope he never knows we fucking exist. My friend got me tickets for the F1, so I don't know. That's alright, John, mate, no worries. Do have a good time though. Do I like AFTV? No, I don't. I want to be fair here though and caveat and say I don't know Robbie. I don't know any guys on AFTV. Troops looks like good fun, I have to say. He looks like a good lad. I have nothing against any of them personally, except Double Initials, because I don't like them. I just don't like their style of content. That's the thing I don't like about AFTV. I wouldn't dare run down Robbie or the lads personally because I just don't know them. So it wouldn't be fair for me to do that. I'm just not a fan of their content. That's just a personal preference. yeah, I just think my view, and this is just my view, is that I think they've built a lot of their channel off making their fans look like dickheads. Getting the reactions, hyping stuff up. It's clever. It's clever how they've gone about it, and they've got 1 million subscribers, so they obviously have played the game remarkably well and worked their asses off and got to where they've gotten to. I'm just not a fan, personally. But nothing personal against the guys. I want to put that out there. Can you say hi to my girlfriend Kate, said Florence. Of course. Hello Kate, how are you? She's become a Liverpool fan since being with me, taking me to Anfield twice. Nice one. She sounds like a keeper, Florence. So yes, Kate, well done. Well done on bringing Florence to Anfield twice. If you ever fancy, a bald Irish man for company and you guys want to bring me to Anfield, I'm here all the time. But look, honestly, hi Kate. And as I keep saying, I love hearing that people are finding love in the world and finding relationships, because we need more love in the world. Love's always the answer. Love's never a bad thing. Formula 1 tickets for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone are over £300, then flights and accommodation too. Do you know what though? Honestly, if that's for a weekend, Joanne, if that's for the qualifying and the Formula 1, I don't think that's too bad. If you're talking about Friday, Saturday, Sunday there, I think that's affordable to an extent for what it is. Maybe, as a once off type thing as well, as a treat. Yeah, nice. And thank you, Joanne, by the way. Asensio is a shop merchant and wildly overrated, said Football Guy. I honestly haven't seen too much of Marco Asensio, mate, because I just don't like Real Madrid, so I don't watch much of them. But I do ask myself why they'd want to move on somebody who could be valued around 85 million quid. Frankly, Scouts, I'm going to read out your comment, mate, because I want to address it. You said, lad, you're still doing the clickbait stuff, using football players in the title that are known as clickbait nonsense, and you repeat it, all about the subs, eh? Right, look, mate, Frankie Scouts, sorry. Yes, to an extent, everybody uses some form of clickbait to an extent, mate, but it's all about, you come on the channel and talk, and you will always get an honest opinion from me. And I started off this stream tonight, and I want to be fair, because I could just call you a cunt and tell you to fuck off, but I want to answer your question honestly. I start off the stream tonight and I talked about Mane and I talked about Asensio and the players that you've said about the thumbnail, and I've said that I don't believe the story, and I've said I believe it's nonsense. So if that's clickbait, then you class it as clickbait. I class it as stories that I talk about when the stream starts. Unlike people who use clickbait where the story really has no content or no substance with regard to the title. Everything I talk about has been linked back to the thumbnail, and there's a story to talk about it. Let me ask you, Frankie Scouts, and of course it's all about the fucking subs, mate. Duh! Why the fuck do you think people start a YouTube channel? Do you think we don't want more people to watch? You do understand how this game works, pal, don't you? It is all about subs for everyone. Whether it's clicks driving to a channel, whether it's podcast listens, it's all about getting people here, mate. But the real trick here, Frankie, and this is where I think you're missing the trick, buddy. If people think you're full of shit, they fuck off and they don't watch. But, Frankie, people seem to like what we do, pal. And people come back and people keep subscribing and people come in and they interact in the chat. So you can have your sly little dig, mate. But if you want to do it better yourself, firstly, stop hiding behind a fake name, you fucking coward. And secondly, start your own fucking channel, dickhead, and you can run it however you want. Until then, I'll continue doing what I and Connor believe is right on our own channel, and you can suck my nuts, Frankie. How does that work for you, pal? We on good terms now? Adios, my friend. Anthony said, Craig, I'm a redhead. My son's a redhead. My wife's a redhead. Loads of love for redheads for me, Anthony. Why don't you get on with red men? When did I say I didn't get on with red men? I never once said I didn't get on with red men. I don't know. Paul, our Chris, mate. So I've, yeah. Why don't you get on with red men? You say that like I've said something negative about red men. That's a very strange question. I've nothing but respect for Red Men TV. So, yeah, really fucking weird question. Ruben Neves as a Milner replacement. Possibly, yeah. Ruben Neves worked with Pep and Linders for 6 or 7 years when they were together at Porto. So there is a relationship there that the club could tap into. Clubs can go big on capacity, they never lose the intimacy, e.g. Dortmund, West Ham, relax now. They've absolutely lost the intimacy with that stadium with West Ham. We're going to London for the race after a few days, said John. Enjoy, my friend, enjoy. Danny said, my bird said Craig is a real man's name. I don't know, mate. I don't actually like my name, if I'm being honest, Danny. I was supposed to be a Dean, but then there was a family that had a child a few doors up from us that called their son Dean, so my parents changed my name to Craig. I heard Asensio was Dutch, never knew that. He's Spanish, isn't he? Surely, isn't Asensio Spanish? I'm sure he's played with the under-21s and the Spanish national team. Am I completely wrong on that? Did I ever watch F1? Yeah, of course, John, yeah. I wouldn't say I'm an avid fan of it, but I've watched it, yeah, certainly. Not clickbait, can you read and don't have to click, you're a fish. Well, let me see. What was the stream title tonight? Let me go about and look at it. Asensio and Coutinho linked to Reds. Did we talk about Asensio and Coutinho being linked to the Reds? Yes, absolutely. So, I don't know. I think, I can't even remember the lad's name at this point. But whoever the fuck he was, I don't know. He's welcome to his opinion, to be fair. He got his little 2 minutes of feeling relevant. Now, let him go and start his own fucking channel. Isn't clickbait when something ain't true? Yeah, clickbait is when you've basically just invented a scenario, or the title, when you click into the content, it very scarcely relates to the title. Whereas I've spoken about Asensio, Coutinho, Mane, I think twice minimum. I've recapped it on the channel a couple of times tonight. But look, he's entitled to his opinion as well, as I said. He is Spanish, said Anthony. Yes, Spanish. I knew he was Spanish. Like, you had me doubting myself, but yeah. Klopp still wants your Neves, Tonali type midfielder. Mark my words, said Seamus the drunk. Yeah, that Tonali link's gone quiet. Do you remember that was around for a while, Seamus, wasn't it? You reckon it would be awkward though, Craig, if you spilt red wine on Mark's carpet? I don't know. It depends what colour his carpet is, Danny. You might have a dark coloured carpet and it might be alright. Or he might have a lovely beige carpet and he would be within his rights to lose his fucking mind. Andrew Powell said, long-term subscriber, all-round cynic. Not once have I seen clickbait from you. Only headline banners for your shows. Top man, top fella, love and respect. Thank you, Andrew. I'm very aware of clickbait. And I'm also very aware, excuse me, that you need to try and trigger people and try and entice people to get them on. I would never put up a story that isn't true or that I haven't got an article to discuss about it. It's just not how I work. I could go full on ITK on here and probably double our subscribers over the course of the summer. Very easy to do. I just don't do it though. I don't put out stories where I won't discuss them, or like for instance, it would be very easy for me to do 5 streams lately on Kylian Mbappe and how he's going to join Liverpool in 2020. I could easily do that. I could easily make that a relevant conversation. I could do the links to Liverpool to, let's say, Coutinho as an example. We touched on him tonight and I said very unlikely, but I could easily blow that up. I could get people on here and trigger people into this channel with headlines far, far greater than the way we do it now. It'd be very easy to do. But I don't do it because I always try to be honest. And as I said to that guy, I can't even, was it Frankie or whoever his name was? People come on, and if you're clickbaiting full of shit, they won't subscribe or they'll fuck off and they won't come back. What we get on here is we get people and we tend to hold them, and we've a very good retention rate of subscribers, and for that, really appreciate that, and for that we're very grateful. But look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. His opinion just happened to be completely bullshit, but he's entitled to his bullshit opinion. Right, couple of more minutes and then we'll head off for the night, ladies and gents. Show us the Diet Coke. There it is. You keep doubting me, don't you? You keep doubting me, but there's always a can of Diet Coke beside me. Asensio's mother is Dutch, said Pedro. There you go. So he would have been able to play for them. Look, guys, we're 8 subs away from hitting that next 100 target. So I know I've mentioned it a bit, but I am trying to really get us towards 20k. Because as Frankie said, it's all about them subs. Got to get that clickbait going. I would appreciate it if you are enjoying the stream. Hit that button. Your wife giving birth tomorrow. I'm going to have a daughter. Congratulations, Kieran. That is beautiful, mate. And that's a lovely, nice, happy ending towards the stream tonight. I wish you the best tomorrow, mate. Your wife and your new beautiful baby daughter that's going to be coming into the world. Yeah, lots of love to you and your family, Kieran. That's lovely. I love to see that Craig do the wine. Mark loses the plot. Oh no, I'd be the type of lad, Graham. I'd be down cleaning that wine up, throwing salt on it, baking soda, everything. I'd just buy him a new carpet. Like, I wouldn't do that to somebody. I couldn't. Jesus, even the thoughts of spilling red wine on the carpet. No. When is the Club World Cup on? Ryan, it is in December, mate, in Qatar. I'm not sure the exact dates yet, but maximum of 2 games for Liverpool. We go straight as the Champions League winner straight into the semi-final. So maximum of 2 games, but it is in December at some point. Right, what else we got? Thanks for another great stream. My pleasure, Anthony. Like, and hit the damn like button, said John Hamilton. Thank you, John. Minhas said positions players we should get that we aren't linked with, relating back to how much we'll spend and what's up with you and Terry from the Football Terrace. I'm not getting into that again. Terry got his 2 minutes of fame yesterday from me, or his 2 minutes of fucking relevance. He accused me of something. He was full of shit. He hasn't apologised. He can kiss my ass. Yeah, after that, mate, I'm not giving him any more airtime. I'm not even interacting with him on Twitter. He's got all he's getting out of me. He can fuck off now and do what he wants. Who should we sign as a Milner replacement? Nobody yet, because Milner's going to be here for another season. Right, what else we got? You should rest, Craig. Everybody gets burned out, and you've been doing a lot for a long period, and it's off season. Yeah, no, I get that, Graham, but I also enjoy doing it. But I will be taking a few more scheduled days off here and there, buddy. But look, ladies and gents, we shall leave it there, I think, for the night. Again, tomorrow, Kieran, mate, I'll be thinking of you and your good lady and your beautiful new daughter that's going to be coming into the world. So from all of us, mate, I hope everything goes well tomorrow. That's beautiful, mate. You'll enjoy. Congratulations. I don't know if it's your first child or not, but you'll enjoy being a father to a beautiful baby girl, mate. And lots of love to you. Right, ladies and gents, we're going to leave it there for the night. I've got to start working on tomorrow's clickbait because it's all about them subs. Look, as always, take care of your families. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And up the motherfucking 6-time European Cup winning Reds. Lots of love to you.